Yeah, Trevor, speed walking. What's that about?
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that on your list.
Yeah. It's like
Um, well,
ever to run or walk.
I don't really see people speed walking. Occasionally, you might do, but what do you think about it?
Bro, I just think like people confused, you can't make up your mind whether to run or walk, you know. I tell you what, that's one way to dislocate your joints, That's why I think
Well,
anyway.
probably, yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
because I'm getting older, but I just think you want a hip replacement, do speed walking.
Do you speed walk sometimes?
I don't even
You
run, Trevor.
don't.
I like to walk.
I go a little bit of jogging sometimes. I've always liked doing that,
Yeah.
and it just makes you feel better. Um, and I think that's going back a couple of months. That was one of my songs. Now I think about it, called Energy, which was all about going out for a run to lift your spirits or just to have some exercise. And then stopping at a coffee shop, having a chat to someone,
Yeah.
and it makes quite a good. You feel better afterwards for talking to someone nice and having a good run. I think any exercise I've always found it does get the old endorphins going, and you just there's a sense of feel good about yourself when you've had exercise. So I guess people who speed walk, as you say, they're not making up their minds whether it's running or walking, but it clearly exercises the body and the joints, as you say.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't knock them. I put that in the normal category.
Would you?
Talking of normality.
Yeah. Well, it's abnormal for me. Right. So, the song "Energy" was that part of that's part of the Waves album, wasn't it? Is that Waves?
No, no, Waves was quite a long time ago. It was my last. I think it was my last album, Flower of Gold.
Yeah, Flower of Gold. Was that? Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was one of those.
yeah. You know, first impression. First impression. This is gonna make you laugh. So, I saw the songs, and then I saw that one. It caught my eye straight away. I saw Energy, and I'm thinking, right, he's talking about the energy prize.
Well, yeah, it's a double meaning word, isn't it? Energy.
I
No,
thought,
I don't go political in my songs. I don't think you do either. But
no, I
I,
don't.
I've, I've I've sometimes I've thought about writing. In fact, I did write some lyrics and a tune probably about a year ago now. I thought, where do I go now? I want to try something a bit different.
Yeah.
And I did write a political song,
Yeah, was it
not
called?
not a complaining. It wasn't a protest song, but it was. I was trying to be amusing, but I
Called
spent a lot of
Medium.
time on it. Quite a good tune to it, melody. But when I'd done it all, I thought, no, I'm not going to go there because it was just dipping into the political side, I don't think that's wise for me anyway to start. Much as I love people like Bob Dylan, I always thought his songs, his early protest songs, were brilliant. I don't think that's not my sort of stuff. So I don't
No,
think I would write a protest song,
no, it's
even though there's a good lot of subject matter in there that you could write about. But do you ever write a protest political song?
I think I might have. I think there was one called Wake Up, Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. It was a proper.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So wake up and smell the coffee, but it wasn't really a direct dig. It was just on the surface dig, and I didn't feel good about it. I felt this is not my style. It's not
No.
something I want to be talking about or advocating for. There's a lot of political stuff. You just have to choose your pick, innit? But I suppose some things are for some people, some things are not for some people. It's just
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I think also when I've ever tempted in, if I feel strongly about something, I think, right, I'll write a song about that.
yeah,
And then I change my mind because ultimately I think music for me and the music I make, I
yeah,
want to be liked and pleasurable, making people feel something and particularly feeling good or being a bit inspired. So I don't want to go down an avenue which is could be conceived as negative, something
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah,
yeah, I like to keep my music up, upbeats, bright, and sometimes makes you think about something. So that's how I work on it.
yeah. I suppose once you start going that line, you're going down the activism line into, it,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't you don't want to be known as an activist. You want to be known as
No,
a singer,
no. Yeah.
an entertainer, a musician. Still on that energy, that song. I thought to myself, Trevor's hit gold on this one, talking about the energy crisis.
No, not for me, not political stuff.
But then I'd
But
have,
no, that
I'd have listened to
go
it. I
on.
was disappointed but I was disappointed that it wasn't what I thought it was. So it was kind of a good disappointment. But yeah, uh, but another song of yours that I thought had a little bit of an undertone. It wasn't political, but it were Millions.
Millions, yeah, yeah.
Because I listened to the lyrics one time, and I thought, okay, Millions, and you were talking about, oh, was it politicians? I think that is that
Oh,
what.
Hey,
Yeah,
Mr.
hey,
Politician.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Millions. It was Hey, Mr. Politicians. Yeah, it was
yeah.
politicians. I listened to that and I thought, right, okay, so I'm getting a bit of a political.
That's true, actually. Yeah, there
Yeah,
was a little bit of a cynical dig at politicians.
yeah,
One minute they're talking about world starvation, and the next they're talking about their expenses. So yeah, it wasn't intended as a heavy dig. I just quite liked the up tempo tune about it, really, and
yeah,
you know that. So I suppose it's 50-50. I like when writing my songs. It's equal that the lyrics are very important and the melody is important. But to me, both are as important as each other. I
yeah,
spend a lot of time on writing my lyrics, and sometimes I can bury myself away for, as I do, 2 or 3 hours doing a song just to get it started, and I'll think, right now I've got to go and get a cup of tea or something, and I'll have done one line in 3 hours. Now that is unusual. I don't think that's the norm. Going back to normal. Equally, I can write another song. One song I wrote, I think. Do you remember Dina? She used to work for you, didn't she, Dina?
Dina, yeah, Dina Reaper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lovely lady. Yeah, Dina. And I wrote a song for her, and that took me about 45 minutes,
wow.
lyrics and music. It just sort of one of those that, I mean, you probably experienced it, but one of those that just came to me,
Yeah,
and it went through the pen and the piano or the guitar, and yeah, I was really pleased with that one.
yeah,
I'm pleased with all of my songs, because if I'm not, I don't push them out there. I don't send them
absolutely,
to you or anywhere else.
absolutely, absolutely. Right. Just to round up our show, is there
Yeah.
s- is there such a thing, Trevor, as the good old days? Is there such a thing?
Well, I suspect every generation
Yeah,
talks about the good old days. I mean, and again, when are people referring to? You could be talking about something 10 or 20 years ago, depending on what the subject is. But there probably isn't such a thing as the good old days. I think what it is, our memories over time, they seem to block out not every negative thing, but I think we tend to remember the good things, you know. Um, Even though there are, if you really think about it, you can think of some bad things in your life or in your memory. But I think for me anyway, I tend to think back about the good things, and so it's quite nostalgic. I think, yeah, there are good old days, but actually, if you could transport yourself back there, I suspect we'd all have the same number of positives, some negatives, worries, fears. Um, So yeah, I don't really think there's such a thing as the good old days. At the end of the day, I think we must always remember, and it's an obvious thing to say, we are completely stuck in the present moment. I mean, I actually had a book of poems published some years ago now, I think in the mid late 90s, I can't remember. Um, and I think actually someone told me the other day it's still on Amazon. so, so this poetry book, it sold a few copies.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the poems in there was, I think I called it the present moment, and we talk about. And I think one of my songs says a similar thing. We talk about what has been, what's happened, and remembering it. We talk about what might happen, what we want to happen, but actually we're always contained in the present moment. We cannot escape that. Actually, yeah, time just disappears. The song that I
Yeah.
did with James Walsh's poem,
Time just disappears.
and I put the music and recorded it. And that says, we are actually stuck in this moment, and it's not a bad thing, but in another way, it can feel almost a bit claustrophobic. We might want to break out of this moment and or freeze this. We want to freeze the moment so we can really appreciate it. But whatever we do, it's always now. It's always now, never then. Which sounds quite a good song title, doesn't it? Really?
It's always that. I love that. It's always now, never then. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
True though, isn't it?
yeah, because like you said, every generation is always talking about the good old days.
Mm,
And
mm,
come to think of it, you think, well, hang on a minute. When you pass that stage then becomes the good old days for you. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
But it's not really the good old days, is it? Because there were probably events that happened back then that affected you adversely,
Yeah.
emotionally,
Yeah.
mentally, or whatever, and just because you've been able to surpass that
Yeah.
event,
Yeah.
whatever challenge or whatever sad event, you then think, well, hang on a minute, I want to go back there. What are you going back there to?
Mm,
It's as if you're asking to go back to relieve um, a, a, a good one section of a good memory, and then a lot more of memories that you don't want to relieve, really.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
for me, when people say that, I don't I don't quite agree with them. I think no, there's no such, and I agree with you because you said there's no such thing as a good old.
No.
There is
No.
no such thing as a good old days. So I'd say is an excellent topic to end our show on
Yeah.
today.
Very good.
Yeah,
A good one.
yeah. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Yeah, so join us again next week, same time for another episode of the Alien Spaceship with Emmy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.